Chapter 19. We gained the happiness of this world, while you were content with delusions. My companion said with the tone of a triumphant man, "No matter how much we disagree, and no matter how long our debate lasts, there is no doubt that we emerged victorious from our battle with you. We have gained the happiness of this world, while you came out with a few delusions in your heads. And what use is talk, when we have taken the lion's share of this world? For us are the nights of revelry, intoxication, dazzling women, lavish luxury, and pleasures untainted by the fear of the forbidden. For you are fasting, prayer beads, and the fear of the reckoning. Who has won?" This would be the case if what you gained was happiness. But if we think together calmly, we would not find this picture you described, of revelry, intoxication, dazzling women, lavish luxury, and pleasures untainted by the fear of the forbidden, to be anything but misery itself, pure misery. Because, in truth, it is slavery to insatiable instincts that only hunger more when fed, and when glutted, they are afflicted with boredom and ennui, and you are afflicted with lethargy and indolence. Can a woman's embrace be the abode of lasting happiness? Hearts are changeable, passion does not remain constant, and beauties are swayed by flattery. Have we not read in the stories of lovers nothing but misery? And if they marry, the misery is greater, and the disappointment is greater, because each party will eventually miss the idealized perfection they had imagined in the other. After consummation and the cooling of passion, each sees the other's faults through a magnifying lens. Is excessive wealth anything but slavery? It places the rich person in servitude to his money, in service to increasing it, amassing it, and guarding it. Thus he becomes its slave after it was meant to be his servant. Are power and status not but a slippery slope to vanity, arrogance, and tyranny? Is the one who rides power not like one who rides a lion? One day he rides it, and another day it devours him. Are wine, intoxication, drugs, gambling, debauchery, and furtive sex, free from the fear of the forbidden, true happiness? Are they not but forms of escape from reason, conscience, the thirst of the soul, and human responsibility, by immersing oneself in the inferno of lust and the frenzy of desires? Is this ascension or a descent into the life of monkeys, the mating of beasts, and the coupling of livestock? The Quran spoke the truth when it said about the disbelievers, "They enjoy and eat as cattle eat, and the fire will be their abode." It did not deny that they enjoy, but they enjoy as cattle enjoy, as livestock graze. Is this happiness? Is that life of lust not but a chain of lechery, convulsions, ravenous hunger, and suffocating gluttony? It has no connection to true happiness. True happiness can only be a state of peace, psychological tranquility, and spiritual liberation from all forms of slavery. Is it not, in its ultimate definition, but a state of reconciliation between a person and himself, between a person and others, and between a person and God? This reconciliation, peace, and psychological security are not achieved except through action, by placing one's strength, wealth, and health in the service of others, by living a life of goodness and righteousness in intention and deed, and by establishing a connection with God through prayer and devotion, so that God increases him in tranquility, support, and light. Is this happiness not religion itself? Did the Sufi clad in the patched garment not say, "We are in a bliss which, if kings knew, they would fight us for it with swords"? Those who have known that bliss, the bliss of connection with God and reconciliation with the self, know that the Sufi's words are true. Weren't you, just a few years ago, like us? You remember as we remember. You amuse yourself as we do. And you are happy with that animalistic gratification we enjoy. and you wrote atheism explicitly in your book God and Man, surpassing even the atheists. So what changed you from one extreme to the other? Glory to the one who changes and does not change. I know you say that everything is by the grace of God, but what was your role? What was your striving? I looked around me and saw that death, then dust, was a joke and absurdity, and I saw the world around me all precise, meticulously ordered and disciplined, with no place for frivolity or absurdity. If my life was absurd, as the trivialists imagine, and its end is nothingness, then why do I weep? Why do I regret? Why do I move and burn for longing for truth and justice, and redeem these values with regret and life? I saw the stars running in their orbits by law. I saw social insects communicate, and plants see, hear, and feel. I saw that animals have morals. I saw the human brain, a marvel of marvels, composed of tens of billions of nerve cells, all working at once in miraculous perfection. If a malfunction occurred here or there, it would result in paralysis, blindness, muteness, confusion, and delirium, things that happen only exceptionally. So what preserves the integrity of this machine? Who equipped it with all these perfections? I saw beauty in a leaf of a tree, in the feather of a peacock, and in the wing of a butterfly. I heard music in the warbling of nightingales and the chirping of sparrows. Wherever I turned my eye, I saw the drawing of a draftsman, the design of a designer, and the creation of a creative hand. I saw nature as a precise integrated structure where chance and randomness are impossible. Rather, everything almost screams, a director designed me, and a powerful creator created me. I read the Quran, and it had in my ears a rhythm unfamiliar to language, and in my mind a compelling fascination. It delivers the final word on everything it addresses, matters of politics, ethics, legislation, the universe, life, the soul, and society. Despite the passage of more than 1,300 years since its revelation, it aligns with every new emerging science, even though it came through an illiterate Bedouin man in a backward nation far from the light of civilizations. I read the biography of this man and what he achieved, and I said, rather, he is a prophet. He can be nothing but a prophet. This magnificent universe cannot be but the creation of the Almighty God, whom the Quran describes and describes his actions. My companion, after listening attentively to all I had said, began to feel for the last loophole. So what if your calculations are wrong, and you end after a long life with death and dust, beyond which there is nothing? I would not have lost anything. I would have lived my life in the richest, happiest, and most fulfilling way possible. But you would lose greatly if my calculations are correct, and my expectations are true, and they are true. Your surprise, my friend, will be tremendous. I looked deep into his eyes as I spoke, and for the first time I saw a lake of terror spreading in each eye. I saw his eyelids blink and twitch. It was a fleeting moment of terror, after which he soon regained his composure, but it was a moment sufficient for me to realize that with all his arrogance, stubbornness, and obstinacy, he was standing on a cliff of doubt and emptiness, holding on to nothing. He said to me, in a tone he tried to charge with certainty, "You will see that dust is all that awaits you and awaits us. Are you sure?" And for the second time, that lake of terror spread in his eyes. He said, pressing on the words, as if his tone would betray him, "Yes." I said, "You lied. This is a matter we can never be certain of." And when I returned alone that night after our long dialogue, I knew that I had struck a wound in his soul and dug a hole beneath his crumbling philosophy that would widen with time, and his flawed logic would not be able to fill it. I said to myself, as I prayed for him, perhaps this terror will save him. For whoever blocks all avenues of truth with his stubbornness, nothing remains for him except terror as a way out. And I knew that I did not possess his guidance. Did God not say to his prophet, "Indeed, you do not guide whom you like, but God guides whom he wills"? But I wished for him guidance, and prayed to God for it for him, for no sin or fate is worse than disbelief.
This translation, which I have undertaken with my humble abilities, is an obligation upon every Muslim to take from it and add to it. If one wishes to put his name on it, that is acceptable. And to publish it for the sake of God, and translate it into other languages, so that benefit may spread to all of God's creation. We seek nothing but the countenance of God. O God, make it purely for your noble countenance,